Hi everyone, my name is Anna and welcome to this edition of the Miami Real Estate Whiteboard. The topic today is opportunity in multifamily in Miami Beach, and I will specifically touch upon opportunities in the neighborhood of North Beach, which is at the cusp of an extremely exciting rejuvenation. So the first point I will make is that the multifamily space in Miami Beach is in the very unique situation of having decreasing supply in the face of increasing demand and no new supply on the horizon. So this is very different than what I've been talking about with, for instance, the condo space here, which has an unprecedented bubble and all-time highs for months of inventory at any price point over 500,000. There's just a glut of inventory. In multifamily, this is the opposite case. In fact, in Miami Beach, there's really been no new multifamily inventory added for the past 40 years. This is, of course, a little bit strange because nationwide and in Miami-Dade, we have a steadily increasing percentage of people renting over owning. And then in Miami Beach, it's especially disheartening because we do have this massive bubble of condo inventory when nothing has been built that is price accessible to working people who live on the beach. So this data revealed itself when I was putting together information for a presentation I gave to Miami Beach's Land Use Committee a few weeks ago. It was a data-driven presentation, and the intent of it was to use data to show the net effects of various city policies of housing stock and to encourage the use of data in policymaking. So when I was putting together this information, I got numbers that showed total count of multifamily buildings in Miami Beach going back to 2010. What I found was that since 2010, we've actually had almost a 15.36% decrease in multifamily buildings. That equals a loss of 292 buildings, and if we use the city's approximation of 11.1 units per building, that means we've lost approximately 3,358 multifamily units in this time period. Now this is disheartening because again we have this massive bubble of high-end condos, and we also have in Miami Beach one of the highest percentages nationwide of cost-burdened renters. It's almost 50% of renters are paying 35% or more of their gross salary in rent payments. Now, of course, one might say that, in this time period, we've lost multifamily, but we've added condo inventory. Okay, yes, but if we look at the average prices of condos that were built post-2000, because some of them get rented out and enter the rental market, we see that they are far beyond price points of anything that is accessible to people with jobs in Miami Beach. So the average resale price for a condo in a building built after the year 2000 last year in 2017 was just under $1.5 million, and the average rental price was $5,254. Now, the median salary on Miami Beach is around $42,000. So that's household salary. So your typical working family here could pretty much not pay the property taxes on one of these newer condo buildings and certainly could not afford rent in them. So we're in this situation where we have people who work on the beach having to commute longer and longer to get to work. They're really getting pushed off the beach. There's no new inventory for them. We have a dwindling supply of multifamily. So as an investor, though, who wants to own multifamily, this puts you in the position of being aligned with both decreasing supply and increasing demand, which as an asset holder is not a bad position to be in. Now, I mentioned earlier that I would be speaking about North Beach. North Beach is the northernmost neighborhood of Miami Beach, and it's an area that until very recently has been kind of neglected, and parts of it are honestly blighted. They're full of old inventory, buildings built in the 50s and 60s that were built as inexpensive vacation homes with ACs sticking out the windows, things like this. And honestly, it's a little bit bizarre that an essentially oceanfront neighborhood has been blighted. Well, good news is that in November of this past year of 2017, Miami Beach voters passed the first FAR density increase in Miami Beach in, I think, over 30 years. And they approved the creation of a town center area in North Beach, which is between 69th and 71st Streets. It's 10 square blocks where now that area is now open to mixed-use dynamic development, new residential, new commercial, new retail, all sorts of things can now be built there, and that will ignite the neighborhood. It will spur, and people will be able to live there. I mean, we have young people moving to work in the Miami area, but they have no place to live in Miami Beach because there has not been any new inventory built that is price accessible. So hopefully now North Beach is going to be in the early stages of this type of rebranding and revitalization. The area also recently received approval for the Ocean Terrace project along 74th and 75th Streets by the water that was declined in 2015. That's going to have over 200,000 square feet total buildable. It'll have a new hotel, a new condo building. There's a beautiful fountain project in the area that the city's invested about $1 million in to make it an open plaza with cafes, things like this. So all these pieces are coming together now, and the area is very much in the early days of its revitalization, which makes sense for an oceanfront community in Miami Beach. So where's the opportunity? Ideally, if one could tie in this shortage of multifamily with the revitalization that is in its early days in Miami Beach and put those things together, that would be a great investment. So on that note, there's some great opportunities that are off market in North Beach. Contact me directly to learn more about them.